convicted killer stands before a judge, given one final chance to speak. But instead of a confession, he blames his childhood head injuries, compares himself to Ted Bundy, and interrupts his own sentencing to complain about his inventions. What really happened inside the mind of Bruce Burke? Burke was convicted in a case involving the deaths of Karen and her boyfriend. When the judge gave him the opportunity to speak, he delivered a rambling statement that raised more questions than answers. He began by acknowledging his mental health issues, explaining they were likely caused by severe head injuries as a child. He gave an example of how his brain shuts down under stress, describing a time he became nervous about cutting down a tree and did it backwards, causing it to fall against a building. But then his statement took a darker turn. Burke admitted he did not really know Karen very well, but he got to know her boyfriend DeVito very well. He then revealed something chilling. He told the court he once shared a story with DeVito about a past landlord who tried to have him arrested by calling police and lying. Burke said he had video evidence, so the landlord was unsuccessful. But then he claimed DeVito later offered to help him kill that landlord. He offered that revelation almost casually. He then talked about narcissism and how people can be very different from what others think. He brought up Ted Bundy, pointing out that his coworkers and family thought he was a great guy. Burke seemed to be suggesting that people, including himself, are not always what they appear to be. Then came his apology, but it was strange and conditional. He said, "I'm sorry that I did what I did in the sense that if it was wrong, I am sorry." That is not a full confession. That is a man hedging his words, leaving room for doubt. He said he was completely out of his mind at the time, and in his normal state, he is incapable of such acts. He blamed the stress of his daughter's death, saying he was stressed to a point most people never experience. He called his actions horrendous and unthinkable, and said it was hard to believe he actually did them. The judge thanked him and appeared ready to move on. But then Burke interrupted. He asked to say one more thing, and what he said next was perhaps the most bizarre moment of the entire proceeding. He complained that the prosecutor's expert evaluated him unfairly. She had suggested he was delusional because he thought he had a valuable invention. But Burke argued she never asked him whether he actually believed it would work. He admitted he does not have a patent or a working prototype. He even conceded it is very likely his invention will not work. But he said that does not make him delusional. He mentioned other inventions he has thought of while in jail, including a solar invention he believes would be successful. He argued that having a good idea does not make a person delusional, especially if they are an engineer with the qualifications to evaluate it. The judge listened and then addressed both sides. But the takeaway was clear. Burke's statement did not sound like a man taking full responsibility. It sounded like a man still trying to explain, justify, and convince himself he is not the monster the jury found him to be. The question now is, was Burke a cold-blooded killer who manipulated everyone around him, or was he truly a broken man whose mind failed him under unbearable stress? The jury has spoken, but the debate over what really happened inside his head is far from over. One thing is certain, the victims' families are left with more questions than answers.